Tell me this isn't the most pathetic ponytail you've ever seen. What I did was I did like half my hair in a ponytail, and then I did the bottom half of my hair in a ponytail, and then I ponytailed them together. Aren't I brilliant? I know. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today you are joining me with my Juicy Juice. Happy Valentine's Day. So today I have a look that I just came up with. I tried to be pretty wearable while still incorporating like a little bit of pink. I have some crazy looks coming for this channel, so I wanted to have a few that are a little bit more toned down. And this is what I came up with. I really like it, to be honest. I think it's really cute and Valentine's Eve without being like, whoa, she's got crazy pink eyeshadow on. So I really like how this look came out. If you want to see how I got this look right here, then just keep watching. Can we just take a moment? Like, who has that problem? Only me. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the eyes today. You guys have not yet seen my blue makeup tutorial, but in that tutorial I did my eyes first, and I actually really liked it, and I've been doing that a lot lately. That's something that I used to do a lot, but I don't really do it anymore. So I'm going to just prime the eyes really quick. You guys have seen me do this a ton of times. I want to go light and kind of like a flirty look without being like dumb glam neon pink hearts. So if you're wondering, I'm going to use my James Charles palette that I have gotten and been raving about, which is right here, which is stunning. And you guys could totally use every day I fight myself off to not use that shade because I think it's sick. I might use a little bit of this. You could definitely do the purples. You could do like the reds, but I'm probably not going to dip too much into this palette because I am trying to keep it a little bit lighter. So I'm going to use my Jaclyn Hill palette a lot, which this thing is freaking filthy nasty, but has a lot of cute golds and pink shades, so that's probably what I'm going to stick to the most. So I'm going to start off by using a light brown in the crease that I would always do, no matter what look. So I think I'm just going to start with like maybe this shade right here from the Jaclyn Hill palette and maybe dip into this like darker warm brown and just kind of see if we can start by building, we can start by building up a crease. And I'm just going to kind of go back and forth between those two shades and just build and get a good base shade that's light but brings a little bit of depth to the eye. I love my Jaclyn Hill palette so much. I think it's great, but it's just very interesting to me like how after I've been using the James Charles palette lately, like the James palette, like you just dip like once and it is so pigmented, and Jaclyn you kind of have to go in a few times and really like build the shades up, which is nice because then you kind of can't go wrong and like overdo it, but it does take more time and more building. So to add a little bit of pink to the look and just kind of start bringing those shades in, I'm going to use this shade right here from the James Charles palette, which I think is my favorite shade in the whole palette. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that on the same brush, like with the other end, and just pack that on like the very outskirts of the eye, and maybe I'll use the other side. And I'm not going in with this shade, I'm just kind of going to bring a little bit more of a pink / red tone to the look. You can see that by like really blending that shade out, you get almost like a pinkish look to the eye, which is going to come in handy later. Then I'm just going to use a flat shading brush and grab some of my highlight in the shade Kitten. You could use concealer for this. I'm just going to use this highlight because it's a little bit less dramatic than using concealer. And I also just have this highlight and I love it. So I'm going to just take a little bit of that and just pull it on the lid. And you're going to want to keep the majority of this in the front of the eye and just drag whatever's left out. And I'm kind of going to do like a semi-cut crease motion. But again, like without concealer and making that super crazy dramatic, I'm just going to pull this shade across the lid. And then like with the rest, like you can kind of just fade it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then once that shade is on there, now is the fun part, and I get to go in with my pink. So I think that I'm going to use, honestly, like, listen, I've had this palette for a while. These three pinks, maybe they're like different on camera. They're pretty much all the exact same. Like there's not much of a crazy difference. But I'm going to go in with this center pink, which has like a gold undertone. And I think I'm just going to use my finger and pick a little bit of that up and then sweep it across the lid. And because this shade is a little bit of a darker pink, I'm going to keep this towards the center of the eye and then bring the rest around. And then I'm just going to take a different finger and go in with this shade underneath it, which is a lighter pink, and have that be kind of like my inner corner shade, if you will, and just like bring the two pinks together. And then of course, because this is the inner corner, you might want to switch back to like a shading brush and just make sure the two pinks kind of like meet each other. I'm gonna use one of my Stila glitters, and I have the shades Kitten Karma and Ballet Baby here. One is super rose gold and the other is like super pink purple. So I think this one matches the eye so much better, but if I want to pull more pink, this is so much more purpley though. I think I'm just going to use, maybe I'll use a little bit of both. These are very worth the investment. I think that these are great. Any shimmery look like this, like I think that this looks pretty, but it needs more. Like it needs more of a sheen or like a shine. These are always what I pull for, and I just think they're so freaking cute and worth like buying if you're trying to get into more like shimmery looks. So I'm gonna use a little bit of this in the center of the eye, and what I usually like to do is grab a brush actually and kind of blend it out so that it's not super duper like glittery on the eye, and it just looks more like a sparkle. And then I think I'm going to use the other shade, I don't know how I feel about this, and just stick this towards the center of the eye. And again with the same brush, I think I'm just going to blend that out. So I'm still just like not getting pink like I want it, so I'm gonna actually possibly ruin the whole look and go in with this light matte pink right here. If this was shimmery, this would be the greatest shadow ever, but it's not. So I'm just gonna take a little bit on like a blending brush and just see if I can, I don't even know where to put this, like just see if I can maybe put it over top. Oh, okay, so actually I'm gonna take my blending brush and just pack that on top of everything. I feel like that's actually pulling so much more pink. That's cute. That's so much cuter. Okay, and then I'm gonna put the glitters over top because I just covered them completely. So I'm gonna pack a little bit of that pink on. I might use my finger. I'm gonna use my finger and pack a little bit of this pink on. P.S. The James palette is so much softer than the Jaclyn Hill palette. Just saying. So I think that's really cute, and that was like what I was looking for. And then I'm gonna take the lighter ballet shade of the glitter and put that over top. That's what I've been looking for. And then I'm going to go back into my initial blending brush and grab the shade Mary here, which was the pretty red, and just like tap it off and then hit this pink shade and kind of get like a little mixture of the two. and just go back into the crease and bring those two shades back into the look. Okay, and then I'm going to actually show you the other eye since I kind of went all over the place with this eye. So, okay, so what I figured has worked is I'm going to use Kitten, my highlight, and I'm going to carve out the area. So basically I'm going to lay down the foundation for these shades to stick to. And then I'm going to go into that middle Jaclyn Hill shade, the rosy pink, and place that on the, pretty much like where the eyeball is, like right in the center of the eye. And then I'm going to grab that pretty pink shade from the James palette. And I'm going to kind of stamp that a little bit over the majority of where I put the highlight. And then I'm going to grab the glitter, the pretty pinkish purple glitter, and I'm going to put that in the inner corner of the eye. Grabbing my flat brush to kind of blend it out and make sure that it doesn't look over the top or take away from the look. And then grabbing the mixture of the red and the pink and just bringing back those two shades on the outer part of the eye and blending them over just to make sure that you didn't lose the depth that you wanted. Then I'm going to grab a makeup wipe and create the sharp edges to the eye look. So I'm just using like a little Neutrogena wipe and taking my mirror, and I'm just going to clean up underneath the eye and create my sharp line. Moving on to the face makeup, I'm going to go on in with foundation. And I'm honestly like, I feel bad even doing this because I've been using like 4 foundations at once. But I'm going to use my Makeup Revolution Stick Foundation in the shade F12, which is dark. It's dark, but it matches, so it's like kind of difficult because when I put this all over my face is so dark. But it matches my neck, so it's like, I can't win. But then I'm going to use Too Faced Peach Perfect for the smoothness that it gives my skin. Then L'Oreal Pro Matte for the matteness that my skin needs. Just kind of mix equally those two foundations. Grab my foundation sponge and then blend and buff in the stick foundation. After that, I'm going to contour with my Makeup Revolution concealer in the shade C13. I've gone through probably about 5 of these as a contour. I really, really like this shade. I think it's a good shade for me. And I also just think that like this is such a nice concealer for contouring. So if you're kind of new at contouring and you feel like you mess it up or overhand it, then I would recommend using this concealer because it's liquid and cream and you just blend it out as much as you want contour. See, like this is really, really pretty, but I could add more if I wanted to, like if you feel like it's not enough. I also feel like a cream or like a liquid contour like this looks better because it's not powdery and it doesn't look like you have gray like contour powder on your face. It looks a lot more melted into the skin and it just looks like dimension is coming through your foundation. I feel that. I'm gonna use that same concealer in the shade C3 to conceal. And then I'm just going to take the sponge that I like use to blend out my concealer and just tap it on my upper lip, my chin, and then I usually just kind of like blend out any creases that my forehead might have made. And this is just going to add the tiniest bit of that concealer lightness to the rest of the face. And then once I'm done with that, I always just double check. I like try and check my chin area and just make sure that like I like all the contour, I like the coverage, it's blended down my neck and everything. And then once I'm happy with that, I can set the face. And then I've really been liking to take a little excess powder on my beauty sponge and just go in where I get the biggest pores. They actually look pretty good today. They have been pretty good lately, but I do just like to set that area, and doing this with like a wet sponge kind of closes the pores up a little bit. And I also like to just tap that into the sides of my nose where I also have pores. And then I just leave that there for like a minute or two, and then I'll just wipe it away. To contour and bronze a little bit more, I'm going to use my Jessie's Girl palette that I've been using for super, super long. You can get this at Rite Aid. I don't know about you guys, but like all our Rite Aids closed down and our Walgreens now. But I checked yesterday, and this palette is on the Jessie's Girl website, and it's $12, so it's kind of a deal. But I'm just going to mix this brown and this brown, which are like the only two contour shades that I really use. And I'm using this little brush, and the thing with this brush is that I have had it since I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and it's what I used to contour with when I was a lot younger. And I was like looking back at old pictures yesterday, and I was like, I really like the like one line contour, like just like the depth here instead of like a big fluffy brush and just bronzing up the whole face. I think this is so much more flattering, and also is like kind of like, it's just less. So I've been just doing it like that, and then taking my powder brush again and just blending it out, and then probably swiping that powder away also. And I just feel like that has been giving like a really cute look. I really like that. And then I've been watching James Charles a lot lately, and I just like die over his nose contour. So I've been trying to do his nose contour. So I'm just going to use the pinkier brown of the two on this little flat elf brush. And I'm going to try to like super lightly contour my nose. I used to do this in high school, and looking back, it just made my nose look bigger. But I think I was just doing it wrong. I'm gonna just take my powder brush and blend those out and go into Kitten, my highlight, and just put like a very thin line down the center of my nose and like right here at the tip. I don't know, trial and error. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to blush, and I'm just using a blush brush and my Essence Heatwave blush. I'm gonna stop using this on my channel because I have looked and they discontinued it. They don't sell it anymore, which saddens me because I've used my share of this blush, no doubt. But I'm gonna find a new one that I like so that I can use something that you guys can go out and get. But for now, I'm just gonna pat this on my cheek. It's Valentine's Day, so I feel like you totally can get away with a crap ton of blush. Even though I wear a crap ton of blush every day. I'm just gonna stick this on the apples. Always put a little bit on the tops of the forehead. I'm just gonna use this highlighter brush and grab a bit more of the blush and just over the tip of the nose and all over like the front, like that. I've been loving the little pink sunburnt nose look, is my favorite. For some reason, I always have to kind of contour or clean up a little bit on this side of my makeup, but like not on this side really, so I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna highlight with my Stila Heaven's Hue highlight in the shade Kitten. I also have the shade Brilliance around here somewhere, but I'm gonna stick with Kitten today just because it's my favorite and because it's a pinkish gold and Brilliance is just straight gold, and I just wanted to do a little bit more of a lighter look to go with the eyes, like the light pink on the eye. Then this is a very optional step that you guys don't have to do at all, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just take this rose water spray and spray my whole face. I got this at Marshall's and I see it there all the time, so you can totally go pick it up. But I just use it because it's a moisture spray, so like all these powders that I've been putting on my face kind of melt better. And it also makes my face just a little bit wet so that I can go in with my Anastasia Amrezy highlight, pick a little bit of her up, and oh, that's the dustiest mirror I've ever seen, and just go right over the tops. And this is a lot of freaking highlight that you don't need at all. Like, this is extreme situations, but I'm obsessed with it. And then if you're like, holy crap, that's way too much highlight, grab your blush brush and just kind of brush over where the highlight and the blush meet. And I think that that's perfect. This is the NYX Worth the Hype mascara. What is that? Weird. Okay. I have not been able to find my NYX Pin Up Tease mascara lately. So I grabbed a different NYX mascara with hopes that like it would have the same formula, because almost every other mascara I've ever used flakes onto my face. And then for the lower lash line, I'm going to just use the initial transition shades that we used, which were these two from the Jaclyn palette. So I'm going to just do those two for now. And then I think I'm going to use the tiniest bit of Mary from James Charles, which was the little brick red, and just touch a little bit of that and place this on like the very, very outside of the eye, blending it down to make it very smoky and pretty and like less. The more you smoke or blend a color, the lighter it's gonna get because you're distributing the shade. You know, you're like blending it out and lightening it up. So I'm just gonna apply a little of this right there and then really blend it down. And then grabbing that same little flat brush we've been using the whole day, I'm gonna just take the shade Kitten from the highlight and pack this on the inner corner and also the bottom third of the eye. And then on a dense brush, this is the brush I usually do my white inner corner with. I'm actually going to use this baby pink shade from James, and I'm going to place that on the very inner corner of the eye. Okay, that literally to me just made the whole look so much cuter. Like, that's what I've been looking for, is that little pop of pink. I don't know if y'all can see that, but when the look is over, I'll zoom in and I'll show you it really well. I'm going to do my eyebrows right now with my e.l.f. eyebrow pencil. I'm currently gluing on my Ardell Faux Mink Wispy Lashes. Once the lashes are on, I'm going to use this NYX mascara on the lower lashes. I'm trying to go a little bit lighter on the mascara on the lower lashes, just because I think the pinks are so pretty. But with this brush, it's so hard to just like put mascara where you want it because the brush is just so big. And then I've been doing this a lot lately. It's super crazy optional, but I'm just gonna take a little bit of my contour color on a super, super skinny brush. This is actually a paintbrush. And I'm just gonna grab a little bit of the contour color and just do a few faux freckles. I love the faux freckle look, and I've just been having some stubborn pimples lately, like right here. And making it into a freckle just totally distracts, at least in pictures and stuff, like totally distracts from the fact that it's a pimple. So there's one on my nose that I'm gonna do. And because this is like the bronzer shade that I use, it's just a lot less harsh than if I was going to go in with a brown eyeshadow. But I also sometimes go in with the brown eyeshadow also, just to kind of give like differentiation of freckles because not every freckle is like the same color. I'm gonna finish the look with my NYX lip liner and guess what shade I'm using. I need to sharpen it. If you can't guess what shade I'm using, you must have never watched one of my tutorials before, but I'm using the shade Mauve. I have a huge pimple right there, right in my lip line. I'm honestly just gonna use my lip gloss in the shade Pink Slip from the N07 and Degrees 7, whatever you want to call that brand. These lip glosses are my favorite in the entire world, and you can get them at Target, and this one, it was on sale for $2.98. Okay guys, so I just literally went and re-pierced this ear, and it's giving me such a freaking hard time now, but I think that this completes the look. It's super duper wearable, which I'm not crazy used to when I film, but I think with the pink inner corner, and again, I'll like show you guys that closer up, I just think it turned out really, really cute. And this pimple is still not cute, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this look and this little tutorial. I think I like it. So if you guys liked this video, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys very soon in my next tutorial.